Welcome back to Allen Park, Michigan. Continuing live coverage of the Barbasol PBA Tournament of Champions. Mike Jakubowski with Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler reporting laneside today. Columbia 300 presents this fun fact. Allen Park, Michigan is the 9th city to play host to the PBA Tournament of Champions. Others are Indianapolis, Akron, Fairlawn, Ohio, Lake Zurich, Illinois, Reno, Nevada, Overland Park, Kansas, Uncasville, Connecticut, and Las Vegas. And now Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan, added to the list of great venues that have hosted the signature event of the PBA, the Tournament of Champions, and Dan McClelland will move on. The high seed Wes Malott has indicated that McClelland will begin this match. Flat 10.
And the higher seed Wes Malott got the choice of starting lane, so Wes will finish the match on the left lane. Apparently he saw something in practice he liked better on that lane.
One thing Dan mentioned is he's going to set up his game and be 100% committed to his game plan, no matter what his opponents have done in the past or will do today.
Well, you better be. I mean, if you're not committed, when you step up on the approach, you better be totally committed with 100% conviction before you try to let that bowling ball go. It's the only way you have a chance of making good shots and hitting your target.
Wes Malott, defending U.S. Open champion, number 3 seed here, 9-time PBA Tour titleist, looking for his 10th today and 2nd career major. Opening shot. Ten back for Malott. Let's flash back to his victory at the U.S. Open.
Well, he was fortunate to get through match number 1, beating Marshall Kent 200 to 193, but after that, it was all beast. And I'm talking Wes Malott throwing strikes. He beat Pete Weber 279 to 182 and then destroyed Belmonte 214 to 156 to win his first ever major.
Malott's second frame and rings the 10 that time.
Good pitch, good pitch.
The ball pushes just a little bit longer on that left lane. The left lane playing a little bit tighter or slicker than the right lane, and when that happens, sometimes the ring 10 shows itself if you're a right-hander. Pretty good shot there, though.
Malott picks up the spare. And now Dan McClelland steps up. And will the shot be able to hold up? Winner in our opening match, dispatching Pete Weber, now taking on another major titleist. Dan defeated Wes Malott in the match play portion of the competition. And back in the pocket, solid with a strike. You know, Dan's been here. He has made now the TV finals in all 4 majors.
Yeah, this is just another really good shot, but you can see just how much straighter Dan's going. And so he's able to do that by keeping his speed up, keeping his hand underneath the bowling ball. And again, talked about it in the first match against Weber. How long will his shot last? Because Wes is left of him, Don Barrett will be left of him, and Belmonte will be left of him.
Looking to double up here, third frame. Solid. 10 back.
McClelland's making him look easy out there. 259 the first game against Weber doing that. And here against Malott, he starts out 10 pin and then doubles up.
The question on my mind today for Wes Malott, is it pinky in or pinky out
Let's
today?
take a look. Looks like it's pinky in, but I can't see it. And what Mike's referring to is that when Wes Malott decides on what type of rotation he wants to put on the bowling ball, his pinky actually dictates that. So when his pinky is in or touching his ring finger, that's going to create more end over end roll. Or excuse me, that's going to create more rotation. When he takes that pinky and spreads it out away from the ring finger, that's going to create more end-over-end roll. Looks like the pinky is in. He's trying to rotate more around the side of the ball.
Ring 10.
And it's pretty obvious when you look at his ball reaction because he's left, sending the ball right and opening up the lane. If he was rolling it, he would be playing much straighter like Dan McClellan. He's a good 6 boards left of McClellan at the arrows. Back-to-back ring 10s. For the man nicknamed the Beast.
Malott fills the frame. He trails by 11. Semifinal match is next. England's Dom Barrett awaits. Take a look at what is in Wes Malott's bag. The hook number refers to hook potential.
He's going with the uproar. See, medium reactive ball. Obviously, he's got stronger stuff in the bag, but he likes the reaction of this ball.
6 gets the 10, not the first time. The second time slaps it down.
Instead of going with an aggressive ball, he's going with a less aggressive ball and using his hand. And this was a great look coming right at you, and a nice break, a love tap on the 10 pin. See the 6 go there, and the head of that 6 pin just enough to nudge the 10 out.
McClellan on a double, 4th frame. Oh, big 4.
Wow.
This is exactly what I was talking about in the first match. With the players playing left of Dan, they're using up his hold area. So when Dan misses target left, there's nothing to hold the ball off from doing that.
Picks up the wood, does McClellan, and hands the lead to Malott on the bench as we navigate the 42-foot Tournament of Champions pattern. And the blue oil is showing us the concentration of oil with the heavier concentrations toward the middle part of the lane. And then the outside lanes have a lighter color of blue, indicating a lighter concentration of oil. Ring 10.
Both players now fighting the 10 pin. You know, at some point, Dan McClellan's going to question where he's playing. If his ball's not striking, if it's going through the nose on a miss and splitting, he's going to then have to determine when it's time to move left. And when he moves left, it's going to be 2 arrows left. The other shot was way better. You can see
Spare for McClellan, and the blue oil indicates where the traffic is on the lane, also indicates lane breakdown at the end of the 42-foot pattern.
You can also see laydown, you know, where the bowling balls are actually coming into contact with the lane surface, the laydown area when the ball hits the lane. These two players playing 2 completely different lines, and right now it looks like the inside line's going to play better than the outside line.
Oh! Double for Malott, increasing the lead he got on the bench. Now leads by 17 after 5 frames.
Well, he got the nice love tap on the 10 in the 4th. Let's take a look at pin reaction here. Oh, that's pretty much 10 back. Wes Malott telling us that he feels like he's back to his Player of the Year form after a couple of years where he was really fighting it.
Definitely says his confidence is back. My mental game is back. I feel I can throw a shot when I need to. 6th frame on the double.
Let's go!
Ruh-roh.
That's some confidence. Malott on a string.
Great shot by Wes Malott. Hey, folks, you know what? When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about how to control the amount of hook on your bowling ball. The easy way. Lots more to come live from Allen Park.
Let's learn about bowling equipment in this edition of Track Tech Talk with Randy.
Hey folks, you see the white circles on the bowling ball? They're called the pin or the riser pin, and it's the location of the top of the weight block. Now, based on the position of the fingers and thumb holes in relation to the pin, you can determine how fast or how slowly the weight block spins. So in essence, by positioning the pin up, down, left, or right of your grip center, you can create a completely different ball reaction. So let's take the ball on the left. That's called a pin up. This pin location is going to create a reaction where the ball skids through the front part of the lane, goes much longer down the lane before it breaks. So you're looking for length and a lot of back end. That's how you drill this bowling ball. The ball on the right, that's a pin down. Notice the pin is in the center of the grip. This ball is going to roll much sooner. And when the ball rolls sooner and earlier, it loses energy. And so what happens is it totally smooths out the entire reaction. One on the left, long and hook. The one on the right, much more smooth and archy type of reaction.
Action continues in the Barbasol PBA Tournament of Champions. Wes Malott with a turkey. And Dan McClellan now trails by 27 pins after handily defeating Pete Weber in our opening match. Spare working for McClellan. 72 through 4, 6th frame. A little high, 6-pin. Almost worse.
The last time on that lane it was worse. It was a big 4. Dan McClellan is now at a point where he has to make a big decision, and that decision is, does he stay where he's at and try to make that outside line work, or does he move in where Wes Malott is?
McClellan fills the frame, spare in the 6th, 4 frames remaining.
You can see on this right lane, look at the light area right there around 2nd arrow. That's where Dan McClellan's been playing. When you look 3rd arrow and into that 4th arrow, you see how it's light right there? That's where the other players have been playing. Dan's been out on an island throughout the first game and a half of the Tournament of Champions. Let's see how long it'll last. It's time to move, Dan. You got to move into where the oil is the thickest, and that's around 4th arrow. That's where Wes Malott is. That's where Don Barrett's going to be. It's time to make the big move.
McClellan cross lane picks up the 6-10, trails by 30 pins, and now Malott in the driver's seat. He's got the ball in hand and a string of strikes working. Talking to Chris Barnes, another player of the year, about Wes Malott, a player of the year. Chris says Wes has the magic hand. What does he mean?
He's got a very unique release. He's about as close to Pete Weber as it gets, but Wes has the side rotation along with roll, and it's just a unique type of release.
Just a tad high, 4-pin.
All right.
Wes can get his bowling ball to return from areas on the lane that other players can't, even though he isn't a real high rev guy. You think about big hooking curveballs, you think Belmonte, yeah, that makes sense. Extremely high rev rate. Wes Malott's just middle of the road when in terms of power, but because of the rotation, he's able to do things very few out on this tour can.
Spare for Malott. Stay logged on to PBA.com for all the latest PBA news, tournament results, player updates, and fan promotions. Right now, the PBA is teaming with Barbasol to allow fans to post a pose of their own strike celebrations for a chance to win some great prizes from the PBA and Barbasol. Head to PBA.com, click on the Strike a Pose link, and learn more. 8th frame.
Well, Wes Malott in the driver's seat right now. He's got a 29-pin lead over Dan McClellan, and Dan has struggled to hit the pocket the last 4 frames in a row. Wes Malott, no trouble at all getting his ball to the pocket. In fact, he hasn't missed the pocket.
Let's see if McClellan makes the big jump here. 8th frame, trails to Malott. Looks like he made that move.
Yeah, he changed bowling balls as well. He looked like he jumped in a little bit. You gotta watch this. See that track area right there? You can see it. He actually is now in between where he started and where the other guys are. This is good stuff. And without the blue dye and the oil, we'd never be able to see that unless we had cameras right on top of the arrows on the lane. Thank you, Blue Oil.
Foundation frame. McClellan's got to have this one. Oh, 10-pin roller, no.
At least he made a good shot. You know, you make the change, you have to be committed. He made a good shot, and the ball was just a little soft entering the pocket.
Best McClellan can do now is 199. Wes Malott in great position to move on to the semifinal. Coming up next, England's Dom Barrett awaits.
Watch the amount of knee bend at the foul line on this shot. You know, you'd mentioned Chris Barnes talking about his release. But Chris, also, we talked a bit about Wes Malott's knee. And he's still having trouble with that knee that he had surgery on a while back, and you could see in that last shot the lack of knee bend. And Chris alluded to the fact that this guy is so good that he can beat you without a knee bend. And when you're 6'5", that's kind of a tough thing to do.
So Wes Malott defeats Dan McClelland and will move on and get Dom Barrett in our semifinal match. More action coming from Allen Park when the Barbasol PBA Tournament of Champions begins. Wes Malott advances to the semifinal. Dan McClelland 259-211 over Pete Weber in the opening match and loses the ball reaction as Wes Malott 248-199 moves to the semifinal as Dom Barrett will face Wes Malott coming up next. And now we throw it down to Kimberly with this report. Kimberly.
Dan, you played really well against Pete, but in the second match, you got a little squirrely there. What went wrong in your lane adjustments?
Well, you know, after bowling so long in a certain area, the front part of the lane is going to burn up a little bit, and it burned up a lot for me in my area. Wes was a little left of me, so, you know, it made it even worse. But, you know, I made a ball change, and it looked better. Should have went to that probably a little sooner. So.
Well, you did play well. Are you happy with how you did?
Oh, yeah. After the World Series I had, I was a little down in the dumps, but, you know, this is a wonderful experience, always making TV. It was going to be a tough road. You know, these four guys are the best on tour, so, you know, I'm happy with my finish.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kimberly. Mike Jakubowski with Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, and you mentioned thanks for the blue oil. It's really innovative. For the very first time, it gives us an unprecedented look at the invisible barrier that this game has presented ever since it's been invented.
Yeah, it's a great tool for myself. The players seem to like it, but I think it's a great thing for the viewers. They can actually see firsthand where the players are playing, the laydown area. You can see the breakdown. You can see the players migrating in. So you can see before practice, the left lane, there's not an indentation or a mark on it, but look how beat up that oil pattern gets after just 2 matches. Remember that these high-powered bowling balls, every time one of these balls go down the lane, it takes a little bit of amount of oil off of the lane with each and every shot thrown, and that's why the oil pattern gets beat up like it did.
It's an extremely interesting tool, and for the very first time, what would you have done if you would have had this visual reference in your playing days?
I don't know. It may have just confused me more. I think I would have just followed the line like the players are doing today and just continued to move in to try to find more oil.
Well, the blue oil gives you at home the ability to see not only where the lane play occurs at the arrows, but where the transition and breakdown occurs at the end of the pattern. Coming up next at the Barbasol Tournament of Champions, it's the semifinal. Wes Malott takes on the Dominator, Dom Barrett, next live.